Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we'll be talking about the film Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga. Fun fact, as much as she drives in this film, Anya Taylor-Joy does not actually have a license. This film came out in 2024 and stars Anya Taylor-Joy, Chris Hemsworth, and Tom Burke and was directed by George Miller. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. Fury also follows the title character and shows her life and how she ended up working for Immortan Joe. The film takes place over 15 years of her life and gives a little bit more about where she came from and how she became the person who would become one of the best rig drivers. Furiosa is an action-packed dystopian film. It has similar vibes to Mad Max Fury Road, The Bad Times at the El Royale, or Snowpiercer. I'm going to be honest, Furiosa sparked my interest not because of Fury Road, but because Anya Taylor-Joy is in it and I think that she's a great actress. I rewatched Fury Road and shocking to no one, I really enjoyed that movie, which only made me want to see Furiosa even more. I really enjoyed the character of Furiosa, and the two questions that I had was where did she come from and what happened to her arm, both which were answered by this film. Also, the title of this movie is Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga, and that is just way too long. We should have just titled it Furiosa. Anya Taylor-Joy and Ilila Brown played an older and younger Furiosa respectively, and they both did a great job taking on this iconic role. I was actually shocked that young Furiosa got so much screen time, and there was a seamless transition to Anya. They both don't have many lines, but they use their face to show what Furiosa is feeling, which is something that's hard to do while keeping the viewer interested. I was so interested in seeing her story and seeing how she never forgot about where she came from or what happened to her mother and who caused that pain for her. From seeing what happened to her mom, we learned that she does come from a place with a lot of badass women. I love seeing where Furiosa was from and how this place of abundance that she travels to in Fury Road is a real place, and we see how abundant it was when Furiosa was younger. I love how she kept a map of this secret place on her arm until that arm had to go, which also shows us what happened to her arm and why she has the metal one in the first place, and that she wasn't actually born with just one arm. While I wasn't a fan of the love story, I'm glad that we got to see how Praetorian Jack took her under his wings, which kind of gave her more skills to be a rig driver, which, as we know, comes in handy, and I think that she might even be better than him. Chris Hemsworth was pretty cool as Dementus. He played this character who, at some points in the film, seemed like a nice person, but then you would realize it's just to get what he wants, and then we would find out that he's actually pretty psychotic. Throughout the movie, we see how he is constantly underestimated. Shoot, I even underestimated him. I will say he had a dedication because I think that after the first meeting with Joe, most would probably just give up, but he said, no, I'm going to make his life worse. His little bike chariot was cool to see. It was giving post apocalyptic emperor vibes. I love how his ending was kind of ambiguous. We don't really know what she did to him in that desert. And Martin Joe returns in this movie, and I was glad that he was still included, and we see how Furiosa came into joining his forces. While she didn't agree with how he ran things, she had a little bit more freedom to learn some skills, eventually leading to her escape in Fury Road. When I found out that she cut her hair to fake her death and to get away from Immortan Joe's son, I was like, that's fair because that man was super weird. I love how she used Immortan Joe's resources to get what she needed to go after Dementus. As I mentioned, there are some things that tie back to Fury Road that help make the connection between the two movies. I will say, however, that if you haven't seen Fury Road and go see Furiosa, I think you would be able to understand what is going on. I think that's one thing George Miller has done with all of these movies is making them so for lifelong fans there are some Easter eggs, but for new fans they can still enjoy it and not feel like they're missing something. There were some filming styles used in this movie that I couldn't tell if they were intentional or not. Like some scenes seemed like a time lapse, but I was having difficulties trying to tell if they actually were or just like something that was overlooked. My favorite part of this movie was the rig scene where Furiosa is like hiding underneath and she is forced to come out of this hiding to help save the rig. This scene shows her dedication and how she will do anything to see Dementis fall and get back to where she came from. We see how some of the war boys are getting killed left and right, and the second rig driver gets killed, and Furiosa is forced to help. She moves with precision, knowing what she needs to do in order to ensure their survival, and she needs to take out certain people and she knows how to take them out. And so while most of the war boys are, losing their lives, she does manage to get this rig into the city still intact, even though there aren't many war boys left to help protect it. It was such an intense scene and had me excited to see how it would all play out. Furiosa is a film that is fresh but also familiar, taking us back to this wasteland and showing us that some trials that Furiosa has had to go through. The cast is amazing. I think that George Miller has another solid entry into his Mad Max franchise. Thank you for watching my video. I would love to hear your thoughts down below in the comments. If you haven't subscribed, please do so you can keep up to date with more of my videos. But besides that, everyone stay safe, have fun. Goodbye.